The Truth of Girls.
Hi everyone. Well, the other day somebody asked me in the comments, what's it like to live in Canada? I live in Quebec, which I love. I think Quebec is very cool. The people are great. I love the French people. I just love Quebec. It's awesome. Ontario, you go to Starbucks and there's not even a place to sit down because you just drink and go back to work. Alberta is the place where people go to make money. Winnipeg, all I know is it's known as Winterpeg. Vancouver is known as Honcouver, so it's a good place to go if you speak Chinese. The Maritimes, like the Atlantic provinces, from what I hear, people are really cool out there, and it's a beautiful place. People go there for vacation. Don't let me forget the northern areas like Nunavut and northern areas. What I understand about those is that this is also a place you go to make money and freeze your butt off. So that's what I know about Canada. But back to Quebec, about the French people, they're just very different. They're different from Americans and they're different from other Canadians. I find Canadians are kind of a little bit like Americans in general, except more polite. Oh, here comes the barbarian. One thing that Quebec is famous for is that we have very high taxes. Hi, I was just doing a vlog. Come here, you want to hear about this? I'm going to bring him in. We pay very high taxes. We pay a high income tax. If you have a kind of low income, you have an exemption amount and you pay fairly low tax on this low amount that you make, especially if you're like a single parent or you're a parent in general. You get tax breaks and things like that. However, whatever you make over that amount, you get taxed a lot. For example, if you were to say run ads on YouTube, you would get taxed 33, 38%, maybe more. So we get taxed a lot, and of course this goes to the construction of the roads, which is all handled by the mafia, as has recently come to light. And the mafia is great because they use stuff that makes the roads fall apart every year, so there's always need to build new roads, and so this is how we do things around here. So basically you pay a lot of tax and you give it to the mob. That's the way it's always been. Montreal is a bit of a sin city, so where would we be without the mob? We wouldn't have things like prostitution, which is basically legal here. All you have to do is look in the yellow pages. You'll see like the last 10 pages, all escort agencies. And so, which also means that there's always lots of employment if you're in that line of work. Also lots of drugs.
The mob rules the drugs too, surprise, surprise.
Yeah, of course. They talk about gang activity in the States and in BC, but we have lots of gang activity here. But there's a mafia, there's Hell's Angels, and they sell lots of drugs. And how this all ties in, though, is with the taxes. Funny thing about Quebec is they're very interested in picking your pockets and giving it to the mob, even if you are a member of the mob yourself, even if you're a drug dealer. There was this article in the Toronto Sun. Quebec judge okays tax on cocaine revenue. It doesn't surprise me at all, and I'll tell you why. They will tax you on the profits you make selling drugs. Of course, they won't know that you're a drug dealer, usually until you get busted. So in the case of Mr. Armani, as probably is usually the case, he was found to owe $1 million in back taxes only once he had been convicted and was handed a 19-year sentence. But as I said before, this is not a surprise to me. And the reason is this. This was a report done by Les Francs-Tireurs back in 2005. And what they did was they went to look into this, whether it was in fact true that if you're a drug dealer, you can report your drug sale earned income to Revenu Quebec and treat it as a business, and that they would not turn you into the police. And so he talked to Revenu Quebec, and they said, sure enough, you can declare this as an income, and you actually should, including the goods and service and sales tax. You should declare that. You have to, actually, because you are running a business, even though it's an illegal one. That sort of doesn't matter. They still want your money so that they can give it to the mob. And then he actually called Revenu Quebec and pretended to be a dealer, a coke and pot dealer. And the guy said that, yes, you declare all your income and we won't say anything about it to the police.
Holy shit. I was under the impression that legalizing it was bad because then the government would be able to reap all the profits from it and control the distribution. But here we see that the government is taxing it anyways.
Yeah, they're taxing it if you report it. Of course, like I say, most people don't report it unless they get busted. Well, then they don't report it. They just the courts will estimate what they owe. And here's a funny thing that because Revenu Quebec, it's so all business. Like, they don't care about the morality of what you're doing. They just want their money. So if you're selling cocaine, you can actually declare expenses. They want you to provide receipts from your fournisseur. What do you call it? Like your suppliers. Because good luck getting that. You know what? You have like supply sheet signed Pablo Escobar or whatever. I don't really think it would be so easy to get that. But you're supposed to declare, put in all your receipts from your suppliers, and then you can declare all your business expenses as well, like all your equipment that you used to cut the cocaine or brew up the meth, the trailer that you had to rent to do it.
And then after bulldoze and buy a new one.
Yeah. Then I guess you can also get insurance, and like you can report a loss if your trailer blew up because your meth lab caught fire. You can also report your trip to Colombia. Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, put it on a business expense.
You can, yeah. So after all, what this judge decided in the case of Mr. Armeni was nothing new. Drug income and all illegal income has always been taxable in Quebec. So you guys want to know a little bit about what life is like in Quebec and in Canada, so I give you a little synopsis there. And Quebec, it's cool, I love it here, but high taxes, and they'll take your money, they don't care where it's coming from.
Yeah, it makes no difference. The mob and the government are the same thing.
Yeah. So leave me your comments, and thanks for listening to me, and I'll see you next time.